US Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen is in India. She is set to meet the G20 finance ministers, including Indian Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman. On the sidelines of the meeting, she addressed a press conference. Yellen said that US sees India as an indispensable partner for friend shoring as part of the overall de-risking strategy for the American supply chain. She also said that it's vital for the two countries to use this meeting to strengthen their coalition. Ahead of the 2024 Lok Sabha election, India's opposition parties will convene a second joint meeting at the southern city of Bengaluru. Big posters and banners were put up welcoming leaders to the two-day meeting. 24 top leaders of political parties are expected to attend the meeting. This will include Congress Parliamentary Party Chairperson Sonia Gandhi, Congress President Mallikarjun Kharge, former party chief Rahul Gandhi, NCP Supremo Sharad Pawar, TMC Supremo and West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee, Bihar Chief Minister and JDU leader Nitish Kumar, DMK leader and Tamil Nadu Chief Minister M.K. Stalin, and Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal. Two people were killed and their daughter was wounded in what Russia says was a Ukrainian attack on the Crimean Bridge. The key bridge serves as an artery for Russian troops in Ukraine and is a prestige project opened by Russian President Vladimir Putin. It may take weeks, if not months, for normal traffic operations to resume. According to sources cited in reports, the attack was carried out by Ukrainian Security Service and the Navy, and water drones were used. South Korean president visited residents of a village in a northern province after a landslide triggered by heavy rains killed 19 people and left 8 others missing. WION examined the aftermath of the landslide that hit on Saturday and assured victims that the government would restore the destroyed areas. Japan's Prime Minister Fumio Kishida is on a West Asian tour, and on Sunday, Kishida met Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman in Jeddah. The two leaders discussed measures to boost energy and business ties. Saudi Arabia continues to be Japan's biggest oil exporter. Earlier, Kishida attended the Japan-Saudi Roundtable meeting, where 26 cooperation and investment agreements were signed. The Japanese Prime Minister will also be visiting the United Arab Emirates and Qatar on the 3-day trip. Iraqi Prime Minister has become the first Iraqi leader to visit Syria since the outbreak of the war back in 2011. Syrian President Bashar al-Assad hosted the Iraqi Prime Minister for talks in Damascus. Now, they discussed securing their shared border from security threats, including Islamic State militants, and agreed to enhance cooperation to reduce drug smuggling. Syria and Iraq share a 600-kilometer-long border. Cross-border drug trafficking is also very common in the region. As boat crossings grow across the Mediterranean, Tunisia's President Kais Saied and European Commission Chief Ursula von der Leyen have signed a quote-unquote strategic partnership agreement that will help combat human traffickers and bolster efforts to stop irregular migration. Tunisia is a key route for migrants trying to make their way to Europe. It has lately seen a rise in racially motivated attacks. Both Russia and Iran have deep, multifaceted and long-standing connections to Syria. Russian intervention in 2015 provided decisive air power to Syria and also Iran-backed ground forces, expanding Assad's, the president's, land control and solidifying the regime's hold on power. American troops have been in Syria since 2015. The US counter-terrorism mission is aimed at countering Iranian-backed militias and preventing the resurgence of the Islamic State group. Now, analysts say that Russia and Iran are coordinating to push United States out of Syria. Moscow requested a UN Security Council private meeting to discuss the humanitarian situation in the country. The head of Iran's police force announced the revival of the morality police's hijab patrols on Sunday. Now, some reports claim that female police officers began to arrest and berate women whose heads were uncovered soon after the announcement was made. Earlier, official morality police operations had ceased for over 9 months as a response to nationwide protests. This happened after the death of 22-year-old Kurdish woman Mahsa Amini in police custody. She was arrested for allegedly violating the mandatory dress code. The Indian Environment Ministry has said that 5 out of the 20 cheetahs brought from Namibia and South Africa died due to natural causes. The ministry also said that media reports attributing the deaths to factors like radio collars were based on quote-unquote speculation and hearsay without scientific evidence. In a statement, the ministry also said that several steps have been planned to support the Cheetah project, including the establishment of a Cheetah Research Center with facilities for rescue, rehabilitation, capacity building and interpretation. At least 4 people died after a boat carrying 20 people sank in Bangladesh's Buriganga River. This was near the capital of Dhaka. Most of the passengers were believed to have been swimming ashore as the water bus sank close to the bank. 8 people have been rescued so far, 5 of which are unharmed and 3 in critical condition. Hundreds of onlookers gathered at the site as rescuers in multiple boats scanned the river with flashlights. Authorities say that they are hoping to salvage the sunken vessel. The Human Rights Commission of Pakistan is alarmed at the hike in rate of crime against the Hindu minority residing in the area around the Kashmir and Ghotki in Sindh. This is backed by abductions, attacks on temples and targeted attacks on the community. The Human Rights Commission of Pakistan says that an estimated 30 members of the Hindu community, including women and children, have allegedly been held hostage by organized criminal gangs in the area. Reports say that these gangs have threatened to attack the community's sites of worship using high-grade weapons. The suspect behind the shooting in Georgia that killed 4 was shot and killed by officers during an intense manhunt. He was 40 years old. The exchange of gunfire came a day after Saturday morning's shootings in Hampton. A sheriff's duty and a police officer were also wounded while trying to take the suspect into custody. Clayton County Police Chief said that both officers are expected to recover soon. Over to some stories from climate now. In Pennsylvania, flash floods spurred by heavy rains claimed at least 5 lives. 2 children, a 9-month-old boy and his 2-year-old sister were also left missing. Officials said the torrential rains occurred in the Washington Crossing area, sweeping away several of the cars. Now, other parts of the East Coast experienced heavy rain too, including Vermont. Due to the strong storms, more than 350 flights were cancelled at Newark Liberty International Airport in New Jersey and over 280 at Kennedy International Airport in New York. Hundreds of flights were delayed. The National Weather Service has issued flash flood warnings and tornado watches. This is for parts of Connecticut, Western Massachusetts, Vermont and New Hampshire. John Kerry, the US Special Presidential Envoy for Climate, landed in Beijing on Sunday for a 4-day visit. He met with his Chinese counterpart today. The talks are expected to be on reviving efforts towards curbing climate warming emissions. John Kerry says that Beijing has agreed to have a methane action plan with measures to curb methane emissions from energy, agriculture and also waste. China aims to achieve net zero CO2 emissions by the year 2060. But it is yet to set targets for methane and other non-CO2 greenhouse gases. Amid talks to combat climate change, a severe tropical storm named Nathalum is set to make landfall as a typhoon in South China, along the coast from Hong Kong to Hainan. Local authorities are cancelling flights, recalling ships and warning people to stay at home. Officials have issued an orange alert at the moment. Nathalum is the 4th typhoon this year and the first to make landfall in China. Hainan's Marine Forecasting Station warned that waves could reach heights of 6 meters. Wildfires in Spain's La Palma island are blazing out of control. At least 4,000 people have been forced to evacuate from the villages as the forests in the region caught fire due to the searing heat. The wildfires charred about 4,600 hectares of woodland and burned almost 20 houses down. Authorities stated that almost 300 firefighters were flown in to douse the wildfire. And regional president has said that the fire is not under control, hoping that better weather conditions could slow down its advances. Over to business now. HDFC Bank, India's largest private lender, reported a remarkable 30% increase in first quarter profit, meeting expectations. The bank's net profit reached 119.52 billion rupees compared to 91.96 billion rupees last year. Now, this surge was fueled by higher net interest income, which rose 38%. However, there was a slight deterioration in asset quality, with the gross non-performing assets ratio at 1.17% up from the previous quarter. Now remember, these profits came just weeks after completing a $40 billion merger with parent company Housing Development Finance Corp. Indian markets opened higher today despite a weakness in broader Asian equities. Nifty touched an intraday high of 19,612 during early deals, while the Sensex consolidated above 66,000 in early trade. Indian markets have been rising on momentum as foreign institutional investors have pumped in more than $4 billion into Indian equities since the 1st of July. Analysts expect that Indian markets will outperform other emerging markets from these levels as the Indian economy remains resilient amid global gloom. In a strategic move to revive its smartphone sales and challenge its rival Samsung, China's Xiaomi has set its sights on the bustling retail outlets of India. After years of relying heavily on e-commerce, Xiaomi's India president revealed in an interview that the company intends to bolster its presence in the brick and mortar segment, which, by the way, still dominates the Indian markets. With online sales accounting for only 34% of Xiaomi's unit sales this year compared to Samsung's 57%, the Chinese tech giant is determined to close this gap. Now, in a groundbreaking development, Japan's Prime Minister and Saudi Arabia's Crown Prince have announced a momentous partnership aimed at achieving decarbonization of society. During Prime Minister's visit to Saudi Arabia, the first leg of his three-nation tour of the West Asia, the two leaders held a lengthy meeting. Signaling a new era of collaboration in the energy field, the leaders emphasized the criticality of maintaining a stable supply of crude oil amid uncertain prospects of international energy markets, particularly in light of the ongoing situation in Ukraine. In the world of tech, after 2 years of delay, Tesla's first electric pickup truck has finally rolled off the assembly line. The first prototype was revealed back in 2019. This marks a huge milestone for the Elon Musk-led electric vehicle company. The Cybertruck looks nothing like a traditional pickup truck. It is wedge-shaped and has an angular design and a distinctive stainless steel body, which Tesla calls the exoskeleton. However, some car analysts believe the Cybertruck isn't for everyone. They have panned it as a niche product, saying that the EV will not have a broad appeal. Tech giant Meta has introduced generative artificial intelligence model called Chameleon. It can not only generate images from text descriptions, but it can also write captions for existing images. According to Meta, Chameleon requires 5 times less computing power and a smaller training data set than previous transformer-based methods. Meta used a data set of millions of licensed images from Shutterstock to train Chameleon. However, it is not available for commercial use yet.